Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Willow Rose Moon Dancer and I make videos here on YouTube about Wicca. Today I want to do a video that I was requested to do. It was a tag that I got asked to do about the end of year like self-reflection. The person who requested this, she also has a YouTube channel. Her name is Primrose Doe, I believe. I'll leave a little thing here with the spelling and whatnot, so you can go check her out. I did a quick look, and it looks like she does some pagan Wiccan-esque videos as well. I know she has done a video about Yule, so definitely go check her out. A little prelude disclaimer, I guess, about this video is, I don't know, maybe I'm just different from a lot of people, but I'm not a very reflective person. I don't go into the year with all these plans, and I don't, at the end of the year, really reflect on what I've done, and I don't think about throughout the year what I'm learning and all that stuff like that. So I do find these kinds of questions really hard to answer because they're not things that I think about or pay attention to throughout the year. So there is one or two questions that I am planning on skipping because I just don't have an answer. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. I'm going to be looking at the questions on my phone, so that's why I'm going to be looking down and reading. But yeah, so the first question is, what is something I accomplished this year that I am proud of? I don't feel the proud emotion very often. I don't know, I'm not proud of myself. Like, I just don't think about things as accomplishments. I just do them. But I guess the thing that I would consider myself to be the most proud of is that I have gotten close to 200 subscribers in the last year, which is really awesome. The rate in which my subscribers are coming in has increased towards the end of the year, so that's really exciting. The second question is, what is something I did this year that I think I will remember for the rest of my life? This year was the beginning of this year was a really hard year for me. And so although it's sad, I think the thing that I will never forget is having to go to a child's funeral. That was hard, and I don't think that I will ever be able to forget that. It was brutal. The third question is, what was the most challenging part of this year for me? And I guess this question kind of ties into how I answered the last one, between a child that I knew passing away. My great-grandmother also passed away. So I guess just the most challenging part of this year was just grieving. Yeah, it was a lot of grieving. I'm skipping the fourth question. I'm sorry. It was, in what area do I feel I made my biggest improvements? And I really can't think of anything that I really improved that much on. I feel like I'm the same as I was last year. I don't know. But the fifth question is, if I could change one thing that happened this year, what would it be? And I wouldn't change anything. I don't believe in changing things. Things happen for reasons, and the outcomes are just what it is. The sixth question is, what are the 3 most important things I learned this year? I have 2. I couldn't think of a third thing, but the 2 things that I have is jealousy is overrated and kids are the best to be around when you're sad. The 7th question is, what 3 things did I do this year to help those around me? I taxied my friends around a lot. Like, I have a few friends and like co-workers and stuff who don't drive, so I would go out of my way to like drive them places, I guess. Another thing is I took time off to help a friend. I had a friend who really needed help one day, and I took time off of work, unpaid time off of work, to help her through that day. So I guess that was something. And the last thing I have is I worked on my YouTube. I like to think that my YouTube helps people. It has a lot of information for people who are struggling with how they identify spiritually. So I like to think that helps. Also, I'm kind of noticing that I still kind of sound like a man. The last 2 weeks I've had bronchitis and I'm still recovering. I'm feeling perfectly fine, but I still have a bit of like a man voice. But yeah. The 8th thing is, what was the nicest thing someone did for me this year? And include back to like my bronchitis and stuff like that. This year has been my first year working in a daycare. And let me tell you, the first year of being in a daycare, you are constantly sick. Like, you might get a week or two where you're feeling okay in between each sickness, but for the majority, you're just not okay. And my partner, Tristan, looked after me the entire time. These last 2 weeks with bronchitis have been unreal, and he's been making me every meal. He's been tucking me into bed, filling my water bottles, going to get me medicine, taking my temperature, snuggling me for hours in bed so I'm not lonely while I rest, supporting me when I need to take time off work to rest. He's been beyond amazing. And not just these last 2 weeks, like every time I've been sick, he's been the same way. The 9th question is, what is something that was hard for me at the start of the year, but is now easy? And I wouldn't say it's easy, but something that I've definitely gotten better at is editing my videos. I'm still definitely working on it, but I have noticed that I have gotten better. And in saying that, also thumbnails. I used to be rubbish at thumbnails, and don't get me wrong, like I'm still not great at it, but I think I've significantly improved my thumbnail game. The 10th question is, of the books I read this year, which was my favorite and why? Honestly, I don't read a lot. I used to read a lot growing up, but ever since I left high school, I just don't read much. Books that I have been reading is Wicca by Harmony Nice, The Sword of Summer by Rick Riordan, because I'm apparently still a child and I love Rick Riordan books. But yeah, and then all the other books that I've gotten really this year have just been books that I've been using as resources. I haven't necessarily read them all through back to back, but I've like used them to like answer questions and stuff that I have. So yeah, I haven't really finished a book. Yeah, I don't really have an answer, sorry. The 11th question is, which person has made the biggest impact in my life this year and why? And I think my answer for this every year for the last 7 years has just been Tristan, my partner. He's who I spend the most time with. I learn the most from him. Yeah, Tristan is my answer. Always my answer. The 12th question is, what could I have done to make this year better? For those of you who don't know me personally, I am a very angry person, which might be surprising to people who don't know me, but anger is probably like my default emotion. And maybe not necessarily anger, but like annoyed, impatient, frustrated, angry, like all of those combined into one. That is me most of the time. And it's something I've struggled with all my life. I've gotten a lot better since like I moved out of my home and my hometown, because I feel like everybody from my hometown is always that way. Everybody's always cranky in my hometown. And so leaving that and coming here, I have been better, but I definitely still have that issue. What was the question again? So yeah, managing that would be better, because Tristan and I would get in a lot of disagreements. We don't really fight, but because I'm annoyed and impatient so much, it has started a lot of disagreements between us. And it's not me like getting frustrated or annoyed at him. It's me getting frustrated and annoyed at things, and then being that negative energy in the home. That's kind of the issue. The 13th question is, what 3 adjectives best describe this year? So I would say sad for the first half of the year, or first quarter, I guess. Fast, because when I look at the whole year, it feels slow. But then when I live month to month, the months go by fast, if that makes sense. So I'm using the word fast. And loving, a lot of love, whether it's between my kids at the daycare, or between Tristan and I, or between friends or family. There's been a lot of love this year. The 14th question is, knowing what I know now, if I would travel back in time to the start of 2000, it says 17, but obviously it means to the 2019, what advice would I give myself? And the advice that I would give myself, it isn't really advice, it would be more like a warning, just to let myself know that like the beginning of the year is going to be rough. But that the rest of the year is going to be better. Yeah. The 15th question I skipped, but I'll tell you what the question is. It's, when I consider the rest of my life, what percentage of what I learned this year do I think will be useful to me? And like, I can't think of anything I learned this year. Like, I'm sure I must have. But like, even when I was in school, I would come home and my dad would be like, what did you learn today? And obviously I learned stuff, but like, I can't think of anything that I learned throughout the day, and I can't think of anything that I learned throughout the year. Do other people have this issue? Tell me, because I was talking through these questions with Tristan, and he seemed to think that the questions weren't hard, and I thought they were really hard. So let me know. The 16th question is, on a scale of 1 to 10, how have I fared this year? I would say a 7, you know? I didn't do fantastic. I had some tribulations. Or not tribulations. Yeah, tribulations. I had some issues. But like, I fared it better than average. It was a decent year, you know? I think all years are the same. They all start off terrible, and they get a little bit better in the summertime, and then it gets closer to the end of the year, and everybody starts thinking about how terrible the first part of the year, and they just assume that the whole year was terrible, and then they talk about how great the new year is going to be, and then the new year comes, and everybody talks about, you know, all the things that they went through, and they do all the reflection like I'm doing now, and they talk about how great it's going to be this new year, and then it's the exact same. So, I don't know. A 7. That's my answer. The 17th question is, who do I want to celebrate my victories with? Once again, the answer is always Tristan. I love that guy. 18. What are my most important goals for next year? I guess I want to make my YouTube bigger and better and awesome. I want to work on my anger issues, which I don't know how I'm going to do, so help. And then save more money. Tristan and I are trying to buy a house, so I want to save money. The last question is the 19th question, sorry, is how am I planning on achieving them? So I'm going to make good, constant content like I always have, interact with you guys, try and, you know, do videos that I know you guys want to see, all that kind of great stuff. So please always send me requests. I love doing requests. For less anger, I really don't know. Maybe I'm going to meditate more, try and relax in a more meaningful way, learn coping mechanisms, I guess, for when I'm angry. I don't know. If you guys also struggle with anger and you found something that works for you, please tell me, because I don't know. And I'm just going to spend less money to save money. We're pretty good at being frugal when we need to be, so I don't think it's going to be much of an issue. And then the last question is, what should I do differently next year? And after doing this reflection and realizing that I don't think about much throughout the year, like I don't think about what I'm learning about, I don't think about how things are affecting me throughout the year, like I don't do any of that. I guess I need to do more things with intention. Like, I don't know, I kind of just live and let live. Like, I don't think about it. I just do it. But maybe that's not the best way to go about doing things. So I guess I'm going to try and be more proactive, more reflective, have more intention. But yeah, that's all I have for today's video. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure you check out my Instagram at Willow Rose Moon Dancer, and make sure you check out Primrose Doe. Don't forget. She also has an Instagram too, as well as YouTube. Make sure you like this video if you like videos like these where I answer questions. It's fun to make. And lastly, don't forget to subscribe because I make videos every Tuesday, every Thursday, and every Sunday. And until next time, blessed be.